everyone, Christy Lee Babrad here, and today marks the 1-year anniversary of Where You Are, the sequel to As the Winds Change, and the companion journal that I created. So, I'd like to first talk about the companion journal. It's called Reading the Heart for 2 reasons. This book is comprised of quotes from all of my fiction books, and each book that I write, it has a fundamental theme of listening and understanding the heart, your own heart and the hearts of others. The second reason, and what actually inspired me to create this journal, is for you, the reader, and the journal maker, to read your own heart and capture all the ins and outs of what lights your spirit up through the prompts I created from the subjects in my books. The journal is divided into 3 sections: love and forgiveness, family and celebration, and passion and purpose. At the end of the book, I have also provided journal pages for you to write whatever you would like to, or to add more to a specific entry. So right now, I'm going to read the book description and my intro, as well as one of the prompts that's included in the book. Reading the Heart. This is a journal for you to write down all that matters to you. My hope is that through the quotes taken from my books and the short prompts, you will see all the beauty, triumph, love, and uniqueness you hold, and may be inspired to uncover and pursue endeavors and treasures that may have been hidden in your heart. The world needs your story. The world needs you. I believe all our stories matter, and I believe that a key way to find the story is to ask yourself specific questions. My hope is that this journal will be filled with your stories. Introducing each section, you will read quotes from my books, but that's where my input ends and yours begins. You'll get to know my stories a little bit in this journal, but these pages aren't about me. They're about you. This book is your creative space. This is the back cover. And I did an introduction as well inside of the book. And I wrote, "Hi, I'm Christy Lee. I've been writing for a while now. I currently have 3 books out in the world. There's more now since I wrote this book. Anyway, every single one of these stories has started from a place deep in my own heart. And it's this simple realization that gave me the inspiration to create this journal. You see, I write about subjects that stir my soul and that have my heart demanding. I try my best to find a unique way of telling these truths, whether they're sprinkled in glitter or heartbreak and frustration. When I first began writing, I was drawing deep within from a place that shouted, 'Others feel this too. I matter. I can create and bring wonder and hope to others, maybe make them feel just a little less alone in this great big world.' And that's the place I still create from with every story and line of poetry I write. I believe all our stories matter, and I believe that a key way to find that story is to ask yourself specific questions. My hope is that this journal will be filled with your story, a story from which you create your own art, whether that be writing, painting, a family of your own, sports, music, or performance art. Each section is introduced with quotes from my books, but that's where my input ends and yours begins. You'll get to know my stories a little bit in this journal, but these pages aren't about me. They're about you. The world needs your story, so I ask you to write your name above the word journal on the next page. Write it big and bold in whatever colors you choose. This book is your creative space. Please begin. With love, Christy Lee." And I put my name above journal because I've been writing in it as well. So I'm going to read one of the prompts that I marked. This quote is from As the Winds Change. "The sweetest breeze floats over me, and I feel the air opening my eyes, breathing new life into where there was such pain. It's Johnny. This is what I've been missing. This is what I've needed. As the winds change. Sometimes there are loves and deep friendships we are unable to let go of. Does a specific person come to mind? There may be a reason. I believe that no relationship is ever wasted if you open your heart to what this love was for you. Take a moment to write about these take a moment to write about those individuals here. You never know, they may become a muse for you if they aren't already. And that's actually exactly what happened with As the Winds Change. It was based off of a number of people, but a specific person that I knew, and that's how As the Winds Change came to be. So this is, and then there's space for you to write, and as I mentioned, there's also journal pages at the end, so if there's a particular prompt where there's not enough room for you to write what you want, you can go to the end and include it here for your personal, it's titled Your Personal Journal Pages. Use the next pages however you feel led, whether to write daily, jot notes about how you feel now, plans for the future, anything that touches your heart and life, or anything you desire. So that is the companion journal, Reading the Heart Companion Journal. My main hope is that this journal and what you write in it will inspire you, and that this book can be a book that you look at time and time again to just see how special and unique your story is. And I'll be including a link to all of the books that I have so far when this video is completed, so you can get a copy of your own if you choose. Now the next thing I'm going to talk about, next book I'm going to talk about, is Where You Are, the sequel to As the Winds Change, which is right here. It's a 2-book story, and it's the 1-year anniversary of Where You Are as well. And when I completed As the Winds Change, I didn't know that there was going to be a sequel. I started receiving great feedback from the book, and one thing a lot of people wanted to know about was the Luke and April storyline and how their relationship turned out. So it wasn't long before I was inspired to see their story as well, with the background of where April individually was coming from. Her story, her background, all that she had been through before falling for Luke. And of course, we needed Johnny to be her guide and to help her with the new chapter that she was facing, and to be with her, to help her understand her story, someone that's been there all along, and help her confront her fears. So now I've decided to read an excerpt from both As the Winds Change and Where You Are, so you have an idea of the first book as well. And I also wanted to mention that you can hear more background on these stories and my other books by watching past videos on this page or on YouTube at Christy Lee Babrat. So here we go with an excerpt from the first book, As the Winds Change. And then I'll go into Where You Are. Chapter 17. Living in the Winds of Change. An invisible thread connects those who are destined to meet, regardless of time, place, and circumstance. The thread may stretch or tangle, but it will never break. Ancient Chinese proverb. A soft breeze blows my hair into my face. July in Virginia is no joke. I'm going to have to get used to this knock-you-over heat beating down on my skin. This is the first breeze that I felt during my stay here, and I'm grateful for the reprieve. I've spent the past few weeks loading and unloading boxes and bags from the car and making trips to IKEA to outfit our apartments. I think I've lost at least 10 pounds since I got here. I chuckle thinking about the amount of sweat that has been dripping off of me, but with all that said, I feel a deep sense of satisfaction at the end of each day. Kevin and Mom drove up yesterday with the last of her stuff. We're now officially moved in. Mom and I plan to go shopping for the fun stuff as soon as we get the chance. Kevin has his clothes and other memorabilia in boxes in case he gets a job somewhere else. He takes items out as he needs them. He's been a tremendous help. He hung up the drawing of me and Johnny sitting on the bench beside my new desk. "This is nice. Johnny and you?" Kevin asks. He steps back and eyes it, sliding the black frame a little to the left. "Yeah," I reply. Kevin shoots me a curious glance but doesn't press. I share a lot with Kevin and Mom, but I can't bring myself to explain this drawing. It's too personal. This is the only piece of art I have placed on my wall. This picture gives me a sense of connection to my past and a permanency that makes me feel utterly blessed. We still haven't decided what to do with the house back on Long Island. It's been in our family for over 50 years. My great-grandfather built beautiful bookshelves into the walls in the one room, and there is cabinetry in the kitchen that was designed by my grandmother's brother. The house has history, and that's not easy to leave behind, especially for my mom. Kevin and I don't want to rush what is ultimately Mom's decision. The timing has to be right with any choice, but what matters most to me right now is that Mom wants to be here with us. I used to think the change had to be all or nothing, and that we would have to give up our entire lives in order to move on to a new place in life. It's freeing to understand that you don't have to have everything figured out to begin making major changes. I'm tingling from the inside out with this new life full of possibilities. I also found a rink. The cold feels exhilarating after what felt like a forever walk in the heat from the parking lot into the long warehouse-style building. Camden Ice is now my second home. I stretch out across the bench closest to the rink and rub my shoulder where my old backpack has left a red mark. I pull out my ice skates and wiggle my feet into them. My extra thick socks were the right choice. They fit snug in the shoe of the skate. I really thought I was going to have to stop skating. I couldn't find any rinks near our new apartments when I searched for activities in the area. A couple of days after we finished moving our things in, I went out searching for the nearest grocery to our apartment complex. I ended up not going to the grocery store that day. Instead, I found Camden Ice. I was planning to go running for exercise here and reserve ice skating for when I could make it back to Long Island, but I'm glad that I didn't have to make that compromise. I had just found my way back to ice skating. Discovering a way to staying on this new path once again confirms my decision to move. The thing about skating for me is that it's much more than just exercise. Skating keeps me moving forward. I never want to reach a point in my life where I'm standing as still as I was before Johnny came back. I know spending time in contemplation was necessary, but I don't want to spend another minute ceasing to reach for my next star. I don't want to waste any more time. I want to live like I've never lived before, like every moment counts, like I wish Johnny and my dad had lived. Mom is over at Kevin's and my place right now. They were planning a trip to the store when I left. It's taking some time, but we're all easing into our new lives in Vienna, Virginia. I'm startled by how many people are out on the ice. It's a bit intimidating, especially since none of them look like amateurs. I have become used to having the ice to myself. The irony isn't lost on me that the place I thought would have less ice skating enthusiasts actually has more. Life never stops surprising me. It's full of serendipity, I whisper, and smile recalling my talks with Johnny. I grab a hold of the bar that wraps around the perimeter of the ice for a few moments, my fingers frozen. I forgot my gloves. Oh well. I take a deep breath, force my attention away from the other skaters, and then with my head held high, I push off. I make a circuit and set myself up for a toe loop, but I lift off too quickly on the jump and tumble forward. My knee hits the ice with alarming impact. I jump back, no doubt inflicting more damage, as I feign a nonchalant expression on my face. No one saw me. No one saw me. Hey! I freeze, my eyes glued on the icy floor, annoyed with myself for getting caught. I could have started skating right away through the pain and make my way casually off the ice into the locker room before anyone saw. Cool air plays around the hole in my leggings where the blood is oozing out. No, I internally whine. I hold onto the bar and hunch my shoulders forward to survey the damage. Good job, April. At least my knee isn't dripping in blood. Are you okay? Slowly, fists gripped tight at my sides, I turn around to face the man standing behind me. Of course he's good-looking. Why wouldn't he be? Actually, he's more than good-looking. He's movie star good-looking. He's tall, with a full head of gorgeous blonde hair and mesmerizing blue eyes. He has an ice skater's body. He's not too thin, but you can tell that there's not an ounce of fat on him either. He also has these adorably messy light brown eyebrows. It's a weird thing to notice, and yet I can't look away. Oh, yeah, I'm fine, I say, turning my knee away from his view. I'm just getting back into it. I take a step back and stumble against the bar, scrambling to find some semblance of control over my body. I feel like I'm back in high school, and the guy I've been crushing on has just approached me to ask me to the school dance. He smiles and extends his hands. I take it, all too aware of my shaking, sweaty palms. What am I doing? He grips my hand before I can pull it back and gives it a hesitant, light shake. One of his fingers grazes mine before letting go. My hand jumps back to my side as I rub my sweaty palm against the side of my pants. I'm Luke. I haven't seen you here before. April, I just started coming here. Everyone else on the ice today seems to be caught up in their own worlds. Luke's attention is making me dizzy. His dimple flashes, and I can't fathom where I was going a moment ago or how to put one foot in front of the other. Remember, you're on ice skates, April, I warn myself. Luke's blue eyes pierce mine, and I feel a gasp just below my throat. My throat is apparently trying to emulate the dry deserts of the Sahara. It's like when you get into a car accident and your body shuts down. A silly smirk etches itself on my face with the comparison. His expression changes, mirroring my own. I try and brush him off again with a distracted look and the unbridled fast-talking that's native to my home. Hi, yeah, no, I'm new to town, just moved here. It's a pleasure to meet you, April. Are you sure you're okay? He looks skeptically down at my knee. I follow his gaze and gasp. It's still bleeding. A trail of blood has made its way down my pants and my knee is swollen. Fantastic. Luke chuckles. It happens. Come on, I'll help you. No, thank you. The last thing I want is this good-looking guy touching my bloody knee. It's okay, I've got it. Thank you, though. It was nice meeting you, I say, pulling myself along the railing toward the exit. I try to keep my mind from going crazy as I clump awkwardly across the carpet to the bench where I left my stuff. I don't have a lock yet, and who's going to steal something at a skating rink in the middle of the day? I guess it could happen, but I can also see my bag from the ice, so I took my chances. I sit down and slide off my skates, shoving them into my bag in a rush to end this embarrassing day. I slip my feet back into my shoes and stand up to rush to the bathroom. Luke blocks my way and guides me back to my seat. He has a wet paper towel, a bottle of peroxide, large bandages, and ice. I shake my head, burning up from embarrassment and grinning from ear to ear. A part of me, the part that is totally infatuated with him, is happy that Luke didn't take no for an answer. May I? He asks, tugging at the bottom of my pants. I nod, and he rolls up my pants leg to look at my knee. He wipes at the cut with the paper towel, and I wince. He glances at the gash and applies less pressure this time. Where are you from? Long Island, New York. Ah, I was catching a New York accent when you were trying to get rid of me, but I wasn't sure. I look down, gritting my teeth, but my eyes light up with amusement. Are you from here? I ask. Yep, my whole life. He proceeds to tell me how he started skating for competitions when he was in high school, and it just stuck. I told him how I skated throughout school, but had stopped for a while, and am now trying to get back into it before the school year begins. You're a teacher? Mm-hmm. What school? Redbird Elementary. No way, that's the school I went to growing up. I beam at the little synchronicities that seem to be showing up. Wow, awesome. And by the way, you're really good on the ice. You know what you did there, right? He asked, gesturing toward the ice. Yeah, I was too slow on the turn. He nods and hands me the tied plastic bag of ice. There, hold it on your knee so it doesn't swell up. I reach for the ice and my fingers brush his again. I hesitate as his eyes peer into mine. There's definite attraction here. Thank you. You're welcome. I glance away and catch what must be his friends looking at us. He notices them too and lightly taps my leg above my knee. Let me introduce you. Stay where you are. So that is an excerpt from As the Winds Change. Thank you to all of you who are here right now. And the next excerpt I'm going to read is from Where You Are, the sequel to As the Winds Change. Okay, here we go. Think about it, Allison had said. I look at my empty ring finger and think back to last weekend with Luke. I wore beige stockings with my fitted navy sequined ice skating dress with long sleeves that flared out on each side just below my hips. Initially walking into the rink, I wore slip-on shoes that I would soon trade for my ice skates. I had my hair tied back in a short ponytail since I'd already cut it for the summer. Why is no one here? I asked Luke when I noticed the parking lot of the main rink in town, where we had actually met, was still completely empty. It's a bit early, Luke said with no concern as he took my hand. I'm sure they'll all be coming within the next 15 minutes or so. Luke did look nervous, though, as we hurried to the door. What's he in a hurry for? I thought to myself. We were already early for the competition. What are you nervous for? I asked him, stopping dead in our tracks. I'm the one competing today. I looked up into his cool blue eyes with an I can't help but tease grin. He had worn the dark gray jeans I bought him, with his white sneakers and a short-sleeved teal polo that accentuated his eyes. Seriously, how did I get so lucky? That was a question I hadn't stopped asking myself since Luke asked me out on our first date. I'm not nervous, he told me, closing his eyes for a moment and shaking his head. He looked straight into my brown eyes. You got this, babe. You look so pretty. Thank you, my guy, I said. He took a deep breath that almost sounded like a wheeze. Do you still have that cold? No. He bent down to kiss me. His lips were moist as if they had been touched by rain, an impossibility on this desert dry, bright summer day. He lingered on my lips longer than usual, and I felt his heart beat against me. Yeah, you're good, I sighed, as I pulled back, almost stumbling. Come on, he coaxed me into the building with a chuckle after practically taking my breath away. Get your skates on so you have time to warm up, he said, picking up his pace to find a bench for us to sit on. I still can't believe no one is here yet, I said in disbelief, not being able to shake the feeling that something had gone wrong with the scheduled event. Still, we sat on the bench, and Luke helped me put my skates on. He slid each one on, moving fast but gently. When the skates were tied, we made our way to the ice. Luke pulled his iPod from his pocket and pressed play on the pop ballad song I had chosen. This is the song you're doing, right? He asked. Yep. Oh, God, I am nervous now, I said, feeling every eye that would soon be watching me. You don't need to be. Go ahead. A flirty smile was spread across his face. For me, he encouraged softly. Well, when you put it that way, I grinned, biting on the corner of my lip. I looked at him once more before stepping out onto the ice as the song started again from the beginning. I was officially on the ice and about to go into a turn when I heard him. Wait, one more thing. He reached out for me, and when I turned back to him, his right knee was bent on the ice. I looked around at the empty rink again, my heart racing, fully absorbing the fact that there wasn't actually any competition taking place. Luke had planned this. White lights suddenly turned on all around us. They were lining the perimeter of the rink as well as the rest of the place, including the bench I had just been sitting on. I was racking my brain trying to figure out how I did not notice any of the wires. Luke had the biggest, sweetest smile on his face. My mind was running rampant with excitement on one side and reasoning on the other. I thought, oh my God, this is happening. I do love him. I mean, this is so romantic. I just never imagined this moment. Honestly, I see forever with him. I can't imagine myself with anyone else, but I didn't prepare for this in my wildest dreams. We've only been together, 3 years now? I am 32, turning 33 later this year. What's wrong with me? Why am I panicking? I knew the second I met you here, Luke had interrupted my thoughts with such conviction on his end. He held my hand tight, and I felt as if the entire world had stopped with us. I knew when you tried to avoid my eyes because you had fallen, I knew I needed to see your eyes. That may sound silly, but it's the truth. My whole world stopped, he told me, his eyes watered with passion. I swallowed hard, taken back by his thoughts having matched mine. I knew I had never seen the kind of fire and sweetness you moved with before. Here it comes. Oh boy, I readied myself not knowing how I would react once it was out there. He continued with a brief pause to take a deep breath. I love you so much. I feel forever with you. Please, be my girl for life, officially. He grinned. Will you marry me? A flood of tears from I don't even know where suddenly rolled down my face. Even now, I can't get the expression on Luke's face out of my head when I finally responded. It was as if that moment we broke up. I need time to think about it. It's such a big commitment. It's so official, and I feel like I have only just begun to come into myself. He's my first boyfriend. I know that sounds crazy, but it's the truth. Marriage, that's forever in my mind. I love him so much, but something is stopping me. April, it's okay. I understand, he said as he told me that he needed to use the restroom. He rarely called me April since the first week when we had met. It was always baby, my girl, love, sweetheart, etc. The car was eerily silent as he drove me back to my apartment, and I swear I saw tears in his luminous eyes as he pushed back his hair, something he only does when he's frustrated. Ugh, I hate myself right now. So that's an excerpt from Where You Are. And I want to thank you all for coming today. I will put the link, as I mentioned before, to all of my books in the post, in a comment below this video. So, yeah, thank you all for coming, and please stay tuned to this page to hear all the latest news. I have a poetry book that was just accepted called Scarlet Secrets Poems. My first poetry book is out there, Sapphire Stars Poems. But yeah, Scarlet Secrets editing should begin soon, and it will probably be out before I know it. So thank you all for coming, and I will be back again for another video at some point. Thank you, and thank you all for coming. Okay, bye.